So.
Hi, welcome back to Cleveland.
Thank you.
You've talked a lot, and I did read your book about the things that you learned at Hawken. What do you think some of the students from Hawken learned from you and the other scholarship students?
That's a good question, similar to the previous one. Yeah, I think they, years ago I was in Chicago and I bumped into a Hawken student who was a year behind me. And he said to me, "Charlise, you handled yourself with such grace when you were at Hawken." And I never felt that way. I just thought I was always bumping along and sticking out like a sore thumb in my bell-bottom pants and saying the wrong thing. But I think they learned to see someone kind of struggle. And it may have given them a greater appreciation of what they had and an awareness of another world that they may have known very little about, and respect. We were smart kids. Once we got the hang of things, we could do it. But we looked a little different. We talked a little different. I think many of the Hawken students gained a lot of respect for us, a lot of respect for what we had to go through to be there. The bus, to catch the Hawken bus, I had to get up at like 5 o'clock. Other students, it came much closer to them. Now, they may have gotten up at 5 o'clock too, but I had to get up in order to be there, So I think they learned a lot about kind of seeing us struggle, and a lot of times our temperaments were very different. We were much more assertive sometimes, especially because we may have felt a little more on the defense, being in a different an environment that was not our home, so to speak. I think they learned a lot from watching us. I never felt that people made fun of me, or that there was ill intent or mean-spiritedness. I never felt that. There are lots of lessons for me because that was my first encounter with black middle-class children who had a lot more than I did. So I learned from them, and I think they learned from me.
Welcome back, Charlise. Hi.
Thank you, Carol.
And I read your editorial in the last Catalyst, and you were talking about the need to do research with institutions here, with CASE and Cleveland State and stuff, to really figure out how to reach kids, urban poor and rural poor, and how to help them succeed in school. And you mentioned when you went to Hawken that the style of teaching, was it a critical thinking kind of base, or you were saying that there's a whole different way of teaching you experienced. I'm not sure if I heard that right. But it seems to me the trend in a lot of urban schools is just very much keeping order and putting information into kids' brains rather than that whole dialogue that makes you realize how smart you are and all the stuff you can pull on that kind of information. So this was all a big long overview to ask you. Do you think Governor Strickland is addressing that? Just that that we have to change the way we teach kids, and if we have more of a dialogic or critical thinking, that we're going to help kids who might not come with as much content area because they might not have read as much in the younger years or whatever, but they're certainly capable of thinking. And what kind of research you'd want to see happen with the universities and the schools. Is that too many questions?
Yes, it is. I'll try to answer quickly, though. The governor has called for an evidence-based program, and that means research-based, basically. What is going to work? If it works, then we'll put the money into it. That's it in a nutshell, if the money is there. There's not a whole lot of research on urban kids and what works. So I'm kind of losing traction on your different questions, but I think that there has to be a lot more research, and that the local universities need to be a lot more involved with the school district in doing the research to find out what will work and how to replicate it. Replication is always the key, because so often what happens in one school is due to the principal, that principal's set of skills and strengths, and you can't replicate it to the next school or schools. Yeah, I don't know what else to say to that. I think that it's going to take a while to get the research that shows us what will work. And what you do in the interim is sort of the problem, because there are so many reforms rolling out in urban districts. I almost feel sometimes like the children are guinea pigs. And we're not respecting the window that they have to learn because we're rolling out reform after reform after reform. One leader comes, another one comes, you know. And so if there's research that we can identify, stay with, and apply, implementation is everything, that would be a good thing. But I think there isn't much out there, truthfully, and there needs to be a lot more. I will say that I think Ohio State University and Cleveland State need to be a lot more connected to the urban school districts, their urban education, their education programs. And we have an opportunity now, I hope, for one of those universities to actually come up with an urban teaching curriculum. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Charlise. Today at the City Club, we have been listening to a special program featuring Charlise Lyles, author, Do I Dare Disturb the Universe? From the Projects to Prep School. Thank you, Ms. Lyles, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This program is now adjourned.
Thank you.